there's a knock on my window. Ha ke sheba, there's a gun.
So you didn't take anything for
didn't give
STI?
me- So they didn't give me that, and then I ended up getting the STI.
There is another instance that happened at the age of 12.
Yeah, when I was 12, I was coming from church. We were preparing to go to a conference. I was accosted by two guys. To
That
a
you
forest,
know.
That I know, to a forest on the 23rd of September. Second event, accosted to a forest by two guys that I don't know on the 23rd of September. He told me, he said to me, things will happen, but you won't die. They won't kill you.
Talk about a woman of power, strength, anointing, called by God. That's why she's my friend. I'm very excited. Her episode was actually one of the first episodes that we had for I've Been Through the Most. Ladies and gentlemen, Linda Maponyane. Welcome.
Thank you. There you just thing. I like it. Thank you so much. I'm excited.
How have you been, girl? It's
Girl,
been a while.
I've been good. I've been glowing. I've been good. The Lord has just been amazing in my life. He's been amazing.
Wow. I think you first came onto the show to share your story, and I'm seeing Shadows of My Scars because you spoke about the book.
Yeah.
So briefly, can you just take us back to those moments and what the book was about? Because it was a reflection of some of the experiences that you have gone through.
Well, the book was an instruction from the Lord, as all of them are. But specifically this one, what I was going through at the time. So this is post the kidnapping, rape and robbery. So what I was going through at the time was I was battling so much to forgive. I walked around with bitterness. I carried it. It was all over me. I housed bitterness. I housed anger. I housed unforgiveness. And the Lord said to me one day, I was in prayer. I think it was the 22nd of Feb, if I'm not mistaken, 2014 or so. He said to me, if you don't forgive this guy, you are giving him the power to rape you every day. So you need to work on the forgiveness. And not only that, but there's so many of my girls out there that are waiting for your story, that are waiting for your testimony that carries a deep element of conquering rape. And hence the tagline is I'm more than a conqueror. And I wrote that book for I think for over 2 years. The reason being I would type and I would be overwhelmed. It was very difficult. I would type and stop until I met a woman of God. We were at a conference. And she's preaching, and then she looks at me and she says, woman of God, where's the book? I'm like, what book? The Lord says, continue. I stood up and I left. I went outside because I was like, I can't deal with the accuracy of this lady. Came back. I'm sure she had preached for a good 20 minutes because I couldn't. I came back. She then says to me, finish the book. Many women are waiting for it. And the book came out. And it's so far it's my bestseller. It's been in many provinces. It's actually even been in Nigeria. It's been in Mozambique. Like it's
international.
It's international.
International.
That way.
You
It's
know.
international.
Okay, so you spoke about you writing the book and stuff, but I want you to sort of give us a synopsis of what you spoke about when you came to I've Been Through the Most.
So what I went through was was coming from church, just preached, dropping off a friend. There's a knock on my window. Ha ke sheba, there's a gun. And then he opens the door, gun on my face, go to the back, went to the back. We were then driven to a like a forest of some sort. And that's where we were assaulted, raped, beaten and so forth, and released immediately just after midnight, or like an hour or two after midnight. And we found ourselves go police station. I remember when I was at the police station, I lost so much blood that I was going in and out of consciousness. Eventually ended up at the hospital, got there, well, I got admitted because the bleeding wasn't stopping. Went under. I don't know what they did to this day.
Was this not where one of the nurses says she's never seen
so
a case like this before?
So it was a doctor. So what happened was when we arrived, I said to the nurse, Hore, I need to see the doctor now. I'm not okay. I need like this is an emergency. She looked at me and said, oh no, go crisis center, ahuna emergency. And we sat there and kind of go faint. Like the lady I was with would keep opening my eyes and saying, Linda, ungafi.
And they said that's not an emergency.
There's no emergency. I get about why it's I don't want to sound careless, especially because rape is sensitive, but why it's people who walk in obviously traumatized, but walk in, sit down and say, this is what happened. They say, okay, wait there, close at the test. They had probably never encountered a situation where somebody was physically harmed by the actual occurrence. So perhaps it was new, but it was careless for her to say there's no emergency because you must treat each person differently.
Absolutely.
So when the doctor came, and this is hours later, maybe about 4 a.m., when the doctor came to take the swabs, she literally went, what? For 19 years of being in this space, I've never seen anything like this. I don't know what she saw. I didn't ask her what she saw. I was never interested in what she was seeing. All I cared about was the fact that at that time I was getting help. And then she then said, "Wena admission now because you need to go under so that relokwala whatever that had been injured." Went in, woke up about 2 p.m. After the operation. Then immediately we had ARVs to stop, infection if the perpetrator had any. Given ARVs and then got released on the Sunday, if not the Monday. A couple of months later, I'm starting to feel a bit, somehow, and I'm starting to see my thighs peeling off. Went to the doctor. He says it's so casual. He's like, oh, okay, it's an STI. I'm thinking, huh? I remember the lady I had been with at the rape scene had said to me, so we were talking about the experience and we were just, comforting each other, if that's the word. And she said, my worst was the 14 pills. I had to drink 7 at a time and 7 the next day. I'm like, what 14 pills?
So you didn't take anything for STI?
They didn't give me. The hospital didn't give me. I could have made a big hoo-ha about it, but I was like, there's too
and
much.
at the time you've already gone through so
much.
Now you've got
I
this
don't wanna
STI to deal with
and
because
also,
of
I don't wanna be
negligence.
fighting with the hospital. Like, I was just like, I'm going to let it go. So they didn't give me that, and then I ended up getting the STI. Then it was just a long... I don't want to speak about the process as if I went through it, conquered it. It was a long journey to recovery, a long journey to conquer it, filled with trauma, filled with khotsab. I mean, for the first couple of months, any preaching engagement that was at night, I refused it. I couldn't. I would be driving and go that rear view mirror. I would be seeing people following me, or I would see somebody in the car at times, So the trauma was quite, it followed me for quite some time. I went for counseling that had been booked for me by the hospital. But the problem was, when I got there, the psychologist in Centtwinz, like, I was just like, yes, no, this is how I feel. And she could see that there's
You're
a
not
wall.
responsive, yeah.
And she said to me, do you want to continue with this? I said, no, I don't want to. And I stopped, and I think my healing and my saving grace came through the book. And not only through the book, but also through my ministry, my womanhood, my worth, where I would openly share. I gave a platform to many other survivors of any form of abuse, but also in every event, I would be speaking about it. And at any other event where I was invited, I would then speak. And this, you know what? There's so much healing that comes with speaking. However, I do want to say this. So one of the things that then happened that I realized was that then every preaching engagement that came, every invitation that came, I would sort of like get channeled by the host for a
get into the rape story.
And this is where the problem was for me. That I know that I have a very thick skin, and I know that I carry a thick blanket of a conqueror, and I'm not doubting it. But it doesn't mean that each time I speak about it, it's better. it's not like each time I speak about it, the intensity of it feels, oh, it feels better. No, the emotions are the same. The psychological impact to it is the same. And hence when you get, and I would have a problem with that being said in the morning or the day before, when you are then in,
because then it's like
you didn't
I've
prepare.
prepared this entire sermon, and then I get here and you guys are trying to like
that's not
Channel
good
actually
enough.
just forget
you know,
about what you prepared. This is
and
what we
tell
want
us
you
this.
to talk.
And also because they
Sure.
had seen Miko Kai Kai and that story had an impact. But what
And I think naturally you'd probably talk about it.
Yeah.
But now that they've mentioned it, it's sort of like
pressed in a
disturbs
corner.
you.
But also, there's a mental preparation that I have to go through.
Yes.
Whenever you get invited for something, this particularly to come and speak about Shadows of My Scars, I have to prepare myself mentally. It's not okay, boom, yeah, hey, and then the car went left. And it doesn't happen like that. I have to prepare myself mentally. Also, because healing is like an onion. Wabona onion, how we reka, the outside part is dry, and then as you go, you can see, oh, it's getting cleaner and cleaner. But as you unpeel it, you also cry because it's getting clean, but there's an effect of that happens. So what they're not realizing is that the reason why I prepare ahead of time before I speak about Shadows of My Scars is because there's certain things I discover sometimes during a certain conversation that
Yeah.
I actually haven't dealt with. And it can be something as simple as when he looked at me. I don't want to remember how his eyes
Yes.
looked. So each time somebody says, come and speak about it, I say, Lord, prepare me for anything that could be, an unpeeling that I had never dealt with before, so that I can do it effectively, but also so that it can help me, yeah.
There is another instance that happened at the age of 12.
Yeah.
And I wonder to myself, even now, when you talk about your experience, you immediately jump to that one in the car. What is it about both of these experiences that for you separate, if I may say? Because you don't mention it as much. And for me, I don't know, maybe because I'm a friend, that like hits me hard. And because I've got girls and I'm thinking my daughter is 12, she's so innocent. I can't
she's
even
a mirror of where I was.
Yes, because I'm like, there's nothing for my daughter. I mean, I don't know. She's a baby. So for me, that story, even having reflected back to your episode and listened to it, it touched me so hard because I realized she was so innocent.
Look, both the stories are in Shadows of My Scars, and every time I deliver my testimonies, I'm going to be honest, I do speak about both events. I think the second event is more amplified because of the gravity of the occasion or of the scenes, what happened and how it happened. But also another thing is that they actually almost have it's almost like a mirror of the same event. Because when I was 12, I was coming from church. We were preparing to go to a conference. I was accosted by two guys
that you know,
that I know, to a forest on the 23rd of September. Second event, accosted to a forest by two guys that I don't know on the 23rd of September. And in both events, there was a gentleman called Justice. And in both events, one was dark and one was light and one was thick. Like literally, it's a mirror. The only difference was location, age, and the years it happened. But it was literally the same thing. And I don't think that one is being amplified over the other. However, I want to say this, and Millie. The first incident broke me. It took away my childhood and my innocence. I think if I were to think back, there's sort of like a blur between the ages of 12 to maybe late teenage years, Tsaka, because I was still in a daze, if you may, And I saw it when I started working. I worked in the transport industry and there were a lot of men. But driver, the trip sheet, whatever. And they would innocently be like, hey, baby girl, okay? And I would be enraged. You don't dare call me baby girl. I was responding to them from the crime scene. And I remember one day a friend of mine, somebody who was close to me at the time, got married. She had also been raped. She was repeatedly raped by her uncle, and she was married. And I asked her so many times, I was like, how do you get intimate with your husband? Like, I don't see myself doing it. I can't imagine. I'm so I can't. How do you do it? She gave me an answer. I don't remember it. I think because it was just so numb.
Yeah.
And somehow her answer for me was like, there's no way. And because I wanted to hear her from the place of my trauma and where I was at the time. So I want to say to you, the first event arrested me long. And not only did it arrest me, it stole so much from me. The second event, when it happened, I told myself, the Lord is my witness at the rape scene, that this one is not going to take anything from me.
Yo.
Yeah.
That's deep.
I said, this is not going to take
That's
anything.
deep.
I said it, I told my mind, literally, as it was, I said, this is not going to disempower me. This is not going to derail me. This is not going...
And is this not the event where also the Spirit of God told you that they're not going to kill you?
That was before.
Okay.
So as we were driving around, I'm sitting there and I'm like, today, this is it. My mom was just, and the Spirit of the Lord said, you're not going to die. And I was like, oh, okay, I
What's
was
the
like,
worst that can happen?
Yeah.
If you ain't gonna kill me.
No, he
then,
actually
yeah.
did tell me.
Yeah.
He told me. He said to me, things will happen, but you won't die. They won't kill you. So I went there almost knowing what's going to happen. There's a song airing by one of the artists in South Africa, Rembelo Kenami, Ujesu Benami. I'm telling you, even in the valley of the shadow of death, he was there. Even in that moment, he was
present.
there. So me, when I got there, I think I moved more, even if it wasn't conscious.
Yeah.
But I moved more with the confidence that he's with me. And I was like, I'd rather be enclosed with his power than the grip of the event that is happening. And this is why, so I had healed completely from the first one. I had gone for counseling because I was bothered by the fact that my friends who are married, who had been raped, I'm like, I don't understand how they do it. And it came as an understanding to me that how so be right. So I had gone for counseling. So I went for intense counseling. So when the second one happened, I was like, I'm not going back there. I know how it feels to be in the dark hole, and I'm not going to go there. So when the second one happened, with me saying that, it was almost like, I don't even know how to say it, but it was almost like I was teaching my mind how to be renewed post the event. It's almost like I was saying to my mind, you have to be renewed.
You took control. You took
I
charge
took
of the
control.
situation. You're
I
like,
took control.
my body, my emotions, my power, what I say goes. And as hard as it was, because that doesn't mean it was any easier. That doesn't mean there was no pain. But you were like, I'm in charge of this now. And I refuse to give power to these people.
Yeah.
That's it.
And this is why, why it was important to me is because I knew I want to get married one day. And one of the things that I knew was that I wanted my experience of intimacy to not have a template of the rape scene in marriage.
Deep.
My template was already tempered into the template that which God wanted for me as far as the marital bed is concerned. And I think that approach worked for me. It worked for me because in the long run, when I then got married, I don't want to lie.
She's skipping a whole lot of
She's like, I'm gonna click on the fast forward.
I'm a drop the mic right
what
there.
What happened was, all right. Since we're jumping to that, journey to my I do. You're you, baby.
Did the vendor magoti not come out of you?
Listen. You did it.
I did it.
And I think that's the amazing thing about I've been through the most podcasts for us
Yes.
is that the journey of our guests, and it's just so much happens in life, but so many good things have happened in your life.
Yes,
so many
absolutely.
blessings have come in your life. Tell us about
Absolutely.
this baby.
So Journey to My I Do is my very new book, one of my favorite.
Congratulations.
Thank you. You know, and I often say jokingly, I often said, finally the cow said moo moo and the cat said beep beep.
And the convoy happened.
Listen, the ladies were wearing the white hand gloves, and you know, so it was just, you know, it was God's surprise for me. Journey to My I Do has been a very pressing journey. You know, I speak about it in my YouTube, on my YouTube channel, where I shared about, and I don't know why I'm jumping to this, but anyway, I shared about particularly being over 35 and not having children. That space is not a good space, where there's the fear to it. Will it ever happen? Is God ever going to remember me? So prior to me saying I do, there's many challenges that I went through. I went through the anxiety, will I ever have children? And if I don't have children, am I going to be able? Because the longing and the yearning was deep in me. I mean, I love you girls know I love kids. Yeah. So yeah.
And then there's the science aspect of it.
There's the science aspect of it.
And the doctor's reports, it says you are high risk up to 35, and 1, 2, 3, and 4, and 5.
Speaking about being high risk after 35, so okay.
There's so much to talk about. You have to wrap it up.
Fast forward.
But you have to fast forward. You have to fast forward.
Yeah.
You have to wrap it up, guys. If it means that she has to come back for a part 2, she
back.
will come back for a part 2.
I'm going to have to come
because
back.
I think you deserve to have another book of how you met your husband. But I'm going to let you spill the tea, honey.
So how I met my husband was through a hashtag on Twitter. Yeah. Twitter.
She met the husband.
Rough streets, guys. The rough streets of Twitter. One would think Instagram, Facebook. A
whole Pastor Linda
goes to Twitter to get a husband.
And finds a husband. And also she didn't kiss many frogs before she got to that one. Ne? The guy that responded.
Oh, you mean
a DM to the hashtag? That's the guy that married her.
So let me tell you what happened. So what happened was, I see this hashtag on a Sunday afternoon. I'm sitting alone, one of those lonely Sunday afternoons, because they happen when you're unmarried.
Yeah.
Sitting there and I'm like, I'm alone, you know, akuna movement. Then I see this hashtag, hashtag dating with Dumisole. Then I'm like, okay, this is quite a nice one. When I posted my picture, girls, I'm going to be honest, and the Lord knows, me, I wasn't looking for a partner. Yes, I posted my picture. I posted my picture. I posted my picture, and my caption was, "Kenale problem. Bana ba 1998, 1999 banshell." Because I look younger.
Yes.
And like 1999, when they were born, I was in matric. Please, to saying, help me. Did they not respond?
Can
my
I
1997,
not get my size?
My 1997 are responding on the very post, and they like, sister, abo malume bethu bayakusaba thina. Hey, can you do it?
We can handle this.
When I go for purity, dula mo koneng, you go prepare la, you know, a nice nest time, because no, you are young enough to be my child. You know, so wait a minute. Then on this particular day, guys, the year prior to that, I had been sitting with my brother, prophet like you, hectic prophet.
Yeah.
So he says to me, so we were talking and he's telling me your business is going to do well. Out of nowhere, he says, Rich Kima. I don't know who Rich is. And then he talks about business is Rich Kima. I don't know. And I keep seeing Rich. I don't know if it's Rich for Onale Chelete or short for Richard. But hi man, there's a Richard coming and he's gonna marry you. I'm like, Richard. Man, can I brand and I'm like those kind of names. Richard. And this was on the 28th of October 2020. Fast forward 18 July, Richard inboxes me. Hang inboxer or hi Linda, my name is Richard. I'm in Durban. I've got 2 boys. If you're still single and you want to talk, let's have this conversation.
So did the Richard click to
Not
you?
at that
Not
time.
yet. Okay.
You have to fast forward because we've run out
Then
of time.
I'm like, Kaspiti, what's your name? I mean, are you born again? That was our first question. Are
Yeah.
you born again? He's like, yeah. I'm like, okay, cool.
That's all I need for now.
Yeah, first one, ifitile. And then fast forward, we meet up. Harry meet up. And the prophet has said he's from far. So Harry meet up. Hey, waraba phone, wabua. And then I'm like, where are you from? He's like, I'm from Lesotho. At that moment,
It clicked.
then I'm like, Richard from far.
It's
I'm like,
he's the
I think
one.
I'm looking at my husband.
Just like in the
Looking at
movies.
my husband. Just like in the movies. And guys,
He's your
July,
husband.
he's my husband. July we meet. August he gives me lobola letter. September
Yo.
he lobolas me. October we got married. We've been married for 17
And
months.
and
then
did
you
this
wanna-
guy not impregnate you?
What? A whole high risk with fibroids.
Yeah.
Baby Adula Lisedi was there.
We thank God for the light that came in your life, and we thank God for all your books, for your ministry,
Yeah.
Yes.
for everything that you represent and for everything that you are.
Every story has a test. You passed all those tests, honey, and you are here with a testimony.
Yeah.
You are here with Alilis
Come
and
on.
wang-wangs from
Yeah.
the babies. But these are all blessings that we
Yeah.
pray for, and
Amen.
we are so proud of you. We are so happy for you.
Thank
One of our first episodes when I've been through the most, and now she's back to tell her story. And I hope that you guys at home are encouraged as much as we are. And I hope that you also find your little light and let it shine. Because she's an author, we need to give away the books. We need to give away the books. So I don't know. You guys will let us know which one you want to win. So we will give away a one to the Journey of I Do, and then Shadows of My Scars. So then let us know which book you want to win, why you need to win it, and then we'll give one each to deserving winners. So make sure that you flood those comment sections because we are about to send you something special.
And just like that, our wonderful subscribers, remember to subscribe, please. We have come to the end of the show. I'm Innocent.
I'm Millicent.
It's bye for now.